Let's talk now about immunity, because that was a big one that came up. And of course, right now during the pandemic, a lot of people are talking about immunity. And I think they're overlooking coconut oil in that, because you even go back historically and many cultures, even in South America, still to this day, they have that commonality of using coconuts in general and coconut oil for immunity. So I even heard that in South America, like Guyana and places, they'll pour coconut oil onto their heads in the sun if they're starting to feel sick. And it's a ritual, but there is some science to it. And they're looking at that now. So can you go into how it can actually help with boosting the immune system?
Again, it all comes back to those fatty acids and that lauric
Yeah.
acid. That is what is in mother's breast milk
Hmm.
to protect the baby. So you take that, obviously we're not going around drinking mother's breast milk, but the next God made product that has that lauric acid in it is coconut. And,
Hmm.
and with the oil, you get such a concentrated version of that coconut that it is a huge immune boost. It is a protection. I met this lady at the store one day, and she literally had Skinny. She didn't know we owned Skinny. She had a little thing of Skinny in her purse. We were at the grocery store, and I was in California. I was in LA. I was visiting my daughter, and she had this little jar. It was hilarious, kind of like we talked about people that I know that love your podcast, and she had this little jar, and she was putting it in her ears. It was hysterical, and she in the store, and I said, I just walked up and I said, "Hey, I saw that, you've got coconut oil, and do you like this product?" And she said, "Oh, there's nothing like it." She said, "I feel like I've got a cold coming on." So she was sticking in her ears and up her nose because she was in the store. She was trying to protect herself. This is way before COVID. And she said, I even put it in my eyes at night. She said, "It is so clean. It just is so great." And I just thought it was so cute, but absolutely. It is it's not just immune boost. It's actually protection. You've
Hmm.
got antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasital. I mean, sickness falls into one of those categories, just fact. And then you've got pain, and it's also good for inflammation. And pain is always inflammation. So you kind of have this. We try not to. I mean, it almost sounds like I'm selling some snake oil to you, but it just is able to do a whole lot. I think that we probably don't give it credit for, and it's gotten some bad raps, just even on the market from marketing. From
Yes.
marketing, it does. There's probably 1,500. The last time I looked, there was 1,500 individual studies on coconut oil. And again, you go back to just the facts. So in 1940, before coconut oil got its first hit, when corn and soybean oils came in, and they did this big marketing push to get it off the market, and they said it's bad, and it's terrible for you. And well, guess who paid that money to get that campaign? The soybean and canola oil market. Okay, so the farmers back then in the 1940s, they decided that they were using corn and soybeans and to try to fatten their cows. And they went, "Oh, we got a great idea. Coconut, there was so prolific that they said, we're going to take coconut oil and we're going to feed it to our cows, and we're just going to fatten them up overnight." Well, guess what? They all got skinny. They didn't fatten. They all lost weight, and they were all more cognizant. They were like, "Oh, we got to stop giving this to the cows. They're actually alert."
They're too smart.
Smart cows. So they started feeding them corn and soybean again because it
Yeah.
kept them dumb, and it kept them docile, and it kept
Yep.
them fat. It got them fat very quickly.
And
So
that's what we feed ourselves these days
and
mostly.
our
Yeah.
kids, and
Yeah.
so that's where, absolutely. I mean, it is really incredible if you just go back, and like Southeast Asia, we're in Vietnam a lot,
Hmm.
not since the pandemic, but we're over there quite a bit, and I'm working with people in the jungle and stuff. It's super fun. But you see, there's not fat people. There's not autistic people. There's not Parkinson's people. There's just not people with a lot of diseases. There are more diseases now in the city that McDonald's and all of these fast food restaurants have come. But when you get into the jungle, you don't have any of that stuff. And people are thin, but everything that they're doing is based on that coconut oil. Everything they cook, all the fish they eat fish, and they are really, coconut oil is, the grandmother makes it for the family, and she makes it once a week, and because by that week's end it's rancid, and that's what they're doing. And I mean, you see just these families of people, and you just don't see obesity. You don't
Yeah.
see any of the things that we struggle with. and it just has to, it's an aha moment. I just had to take a step back and just think, what are we doing to ourselves here in America, where we just have all of this opportunity, but yet we don't know. We think we have the knowledge because we've been marketed to.
Yep.
But if you can just take a step back and recognize, like the cow, like the farmers in the 1940s, they found out real quickly, well, that didn't work. They were actually feeding the cow's metabolism.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And if you actually step back and look at the ancestral knowledge that is there and that connection to nature, that's what kept them healthy.
Yes.
And we could say, well, we live longer now, but the quality is down. We're just keeping ourselves, managing our sicknesses. We're sicker than ever, really. So
100%, 100%. I mean, they can make those studies say anything they want to say, but you look at somebody's quality of life
yeah.
and how they're feeling, and it's just makes me sad. I mean, everybody's just on 12 different medications from one to the next, and I think if we can take a step back and really start foundationally, and that's what we're here for. We're trying to create the best products on the planet. If you can't eat it off a spoon, don't put it on your skin. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very simple.